today's video I will be answering several questions that relate to Gothic, Goth, alternative lifestyle, however you want to put it. Start off with some of the most popular questions or myths, as it were, even, determining on how much time I want to put in this and how long I want to make this. So, with that said, let's do this.
Alright, so as I said, this video is about popular questions and or myths about Goths and anything in relation to the alternative lifestyle. So I guess I'll start out with me a little bit about my way into it and bio and all that. So when did I first choose to become a Goth? And how long have I been a part of the Goth subculture? Next. So I would say the exact time was somewhere in the 9th grade. So I was about 14, 15 or so. I received my first pair of trip pants as a random gift just because someone thought I'd like it because it matches WWE superstar The Undertaker's style and look. They didn't understand, the individual who got it for me didn't understand that it was actually a part of the goth culture. Thought it was just one of them gimmicky type of Undertaker type things. So that's what kind of got me into it at first. So I started wearing it, and then I started adding a Death Clutch hoodie on top of that, and bam, there you go. I was like, wow, I really like this look a lot, you know. And then I fit in with about 2 other Goths that were in the Suttons Bay High School at that time, and we just kind of banded together and hung out ever since then. So ever since I was about 14 or 15, and that was kind of how I got into it. Or chose to be in it, however you want to put it. Number 2. Why did you choose the Gothic way? Well, quite simply put, I liked it. I liked the people. From Northport, Michigan to Cadillac, Michigan to Reed City, Michigan to Ocala, Florida to Traverse City. I haven't really liked many people. In fact, it takes a hell of a lot for me to even like anybody at all, because I base a lot of it on personality, intelligence, compassion, so on and so forth. I actually have quite a long list, but those are the main ones. Unfortunately, not a lot of people can get past those things, those basic human things of just being a good person with a good personality. But within the Goth culture, the Goth lifestyle, the ALT, alternative lifestyle, I haven't met one shitty person. Not one. All of them have been fantastic. The women have been feminine. The women have been amazing, with great personalities. The men have been just as equally as great, with great personality. The most intelligent people, creative people I've ever met in the Goth culture. So, ultimately, that was the main reason why I stuck with it. These people, I know, are great people. Sure, of course, don't get me wrong, before all you hop on the whole, I knew this Goth and he was a shitty person. There are always bad apples, okay? I'm not saying every single one of them is always going to be perfect. There's always going to be a bad apple in a group, alright? How is your life today? So this is number 3. How is your life today? Does the fact that you are Gothic affect your daily life in any way? Well, I would say my life's pretty good. I have more than my basic needs. I have a car, I have housing, I have air conditioning, I have a big 75-inch TV, I have a badass computer, double monitor. I mean, I have all the materialistic and superficial things that anyone could want. I have income, I have money saved up, I have everything I could ever want, and then some. I live a really damn good life, all things considered. Does me being goth affect my daily life though? Absolutely. Some for the good, and some not so good. Okay, so as you could expect, being in the place that I live, Traverse City, Michigan, not a lot of people seem to get along with that. I shouldn't say get along. I'm not so appealing to a lot of the people who are very preppy, mainstreamy, I guess you could say. Not a lot of people are down for the goth look or the goth style because of just where I live. So there's a certain amount of isolation that will come with it, a lot of judging, a lot of presumptions about me before they even know me. And in fact, I always tell this story to everybody that ever I know or ask about this, but there's a time I was in Tom's Food Markets, the one that heads out of Traverse City, heading out towards Suttons Bay. Alright, I was with my gal at the time, and we were watching fireworks, or we were getting ready to, so I was heading to Tom's to get a drink or two. And there was this lady with her kid in one of those, aisles with all the fridges and freezers on each side. So I walked down there, looking for what I was looking for. And next thing I know, she's pressing her child up against the damn glass like she's gonna push him right fucking through it because I'm walking by. She literally did that to the kid and pressed herself up against it too, as if I was going to attack her or something like that. That's the kind of reaction that I'm used to, unfortunately, around here. People are inherently intimidated or afraid by me, and I've had to adapt and just get used to that sort of reaction. It used to really, really piss me off. Of course, I wouldn't do anything about it. They're clearly already scared as was, so I just kind of shook my head and just continued on. But wow, that used to really piss me off. But now I'm just like, whatever. So, in some good ways, though, it keeps me away from shitty people. Because I'm not some big 250-pound whatever person, and there are some scenarios where I do believe if I wasn't a goth, people may have tried to pick on me or tried to bother me or something like that. But because of this inherent intimidation factor, people don't seem to want to even try that. So while I may be trained and more than capable of combat because of my martial arts background, not everybody knows that though. So what they'll see is some scrawny little white boy or whatever, and they'll be like, fucking nerd, or whatever they're gonna think, because I don't have tons and tons of BMI. So they're gonna think I'm some easy target or something. But because of the fact that I'm goth, they're just like, I don't know about that. So in some situations, it's actually helped me avoid problems. Then in other social situations, it's helped me too. Because any friend that I've ever made, genuinely, has always been a good person. Because they see through that this is just something we wear. This covers the skin, nothing more. They want to get to know me as a person, rather than how cool I am, how popular I am, how pretty I am, how tough I am. They want to know me for me. So it's kept all the fakes, as they say, out of the picture. And, as much negative things that, socially I can say that I'm affected by, ultimately, in the end, I get the best things out of being goth. Genuine, true connections. Alright, so now on to the popular questions and such. Okay, so why do you like black so much? Is the most popular question. Surprise, surprise. Well, it's obviously subjective as it is a color, but the most popular answer I could give you is that people like black because it's slimming, it's sexy, it's edgy, and a little bit dangerous. Me personally, I just like it. It's if I get dirt on me or something, unless it's like super bad, you don't really see it. You spill something on yourself, you don't really see it. It's easy to maintain. You just put it in the cold water for wash, and there you go. It's just super convenient for me. I just like the color. It's from a subjective level. I just like the colors. My personal preference for color. I like the way that it looks on me. I like the way that it looks on others. It's just a personal preference of mine, and it's genuinely what other goths would say likewise as well. Okay. Second most popular question, no surprise, is what is goth? Or what makes someone a goth? Wow. See, if you ask somebody this question and they instantly know the answer and can give you a definitive this equals goth, you're not talking to a real one, a genuine one, whatever you want to call it. Because there isn't really a particular set of things that make you goth or make a thing goth. Sure, there are these common characteristics, you know, things and whatnot, but a goth could be someone that you go to church with every Sunday and you don't even know it because they're in their church attire. They don't always have to be dressing like this. Alright? They don't always have to be listening to metal music or screamo or mosh pitting. They could be your everyday guy, you just don't know it. And so with that, there are several things that go with being goth. For a lot of people, it's deep, abiding love of all things spooky. And dark, a genuine love of music and wanting to look like I've just been dug up. You know, that's a pretty common answer you genuinely get. Not only that, but there are several types of goth. Subcultures of goth, as it were. You know, you got your metal goths, you got your Victorian goths, you got your old school goths, you got your all-out goths. We're talking the body modifications, the piercings everywhere, the white face, all that. Whereas I'm an old school goth. I don't go overkill or overboard with it, but you know I'm also goth at the same time. So there's also that you got to take in consideration as well. So what a Victorian goth may say is definitely goth and this is what makes you goth, a metal goth or an old school goth may say, well, no, that doesn't make you goth or is goth. This is also goth. You know, there are several types of different ones that you got to be open-minded about. So that's the best I can give you with that one. Number 3 for a popular question. Are goths always vegan? You're funny. Wow, is that actually a popular? Okay. No. No, just no. No. You guys are probably... Oh, shit. Okay, I gotta compose myself. Not all goths are vegan. The ones that you're probably thinking of are probably one of the mainstream YouTubers or whatever, and they promote veganism. But not all goths are vegan. That's for damn sure. Just like not all Goths are this or that. We're all different, we're all humans in the end. Even if some of us don't look human. Anyways, me for instance, I am the anti-vegan. I'm not saying that I'd go against it, but fuck, I'll eat a 72-ounce, I'll take that 72-ounce steak challenge and eat it in an hour, or try to at least. I love steak, I love chicken, I love eating meat. So, yeah, I think that sums that one up. Number 4. The fourth, interesting, the fourth most popular question is, why are Goths so weird? I gotta give Emma the answer with this one. Her answer when she's asked that is because we actually hatch from tiny black eggs. It would just be weird if all humans were the same. And what might be weird to you may not be weird to me. It's very subjective. The fact that we are purely created out of the anti-mainstream culture, or as some may say, the counterculture, inherently makes us weird, because we go against the grain. We are different. We are very different. I mean, just visually speaking. Mindset-wise, we're probably different too. And so, what people often see as weird is something that they're not used to and is different from them. If they're not scared by what they don't know of, they just think it's weird. We'll just put it that way, huh? So, I guess I'll sum it up with this. Everybody is weird until you get to know them. Well enough, that is. Now this one I saw coming. The fifth most popular question is, why are people scared of Goths? Projection. The people who've been scared of me have also been terrified of not fitting in. The people who have been scared of me are people who have been shown the Hollywood mainstream idea of what Goth is. The Hollywood effect, as I like to call it. As a lot of mainstream popular culture will show you, whether it's movies, media, or otherwise, is that Goths are so dark and scary. They're mean and evil people. They'll use their chains to tie you up and strangle you to death and put you in their dark killer chambers. You see it all the time, whether it's cartoons or movies, whatever. And I use this as an answer every single time because it's perfect. It's social conditioning. When you're little, you watch cartoons. When you're little, who's the bad guy? The guy who's all in black, the guy who's hiding in the shadows, the guy who's got chains or whatever, who's got black gloves, etc., etc. And who's the good guy? Bright colors and type of person. Okay? Movies. Who's the bad guy? Either it's a guy that talks like this, or someone who, again, is generally in the shadows, wears black attire, dark suits, etc., etc. So, what I'm getting at is from when you're very little until you're into your adulthood. What do you think, socially, conditionally wise, happens when you always see the person who's dressed in all black, chained, black gloves, hides in the shadows, blippity-boppity-blue. Someone who looks like Goth is always portrayed as a bad guy, an evil person out to kill you. Since you were ever so little until you were an adult, and you've always seen this. And then you see someone on the streets dressed like this. What do you think's gonna happen? Yeah, that's what I thought. You're gonna see them as some scary bad guy who's out to hurt you because Hollywood has indoctrinated you, has brainwashed you, etc., etc. It's just one of those biases. Like, you don't even mean to, most of the time, to be that way towards Goths. It's just one of those things, unfortunately, that we Goths gotta deal with all the time. The mainstream image, as it were, of what Goths are. So, long story short, that's why we are so scary. But it also has a lot to do with projection as well. And to summarize, you fear that to which you do not know. I could go on to that topic for hours, so I'm just going to end it there. On to the next. Oh, this is an interesting one. It's the opposite of what was just asked. All right, this is cool. So, what are Goths scared of? Finally, a question I like. It really has me thinking. What am I scared of? Well, I know that majority of Goths are afraid of mediocrity. As a short, simplistic answer. Well, I mean, it is summer, so let's think. I suppose having some sort of heat stroke or heat-related incident while I'm out like this, and it's just like, well, what do you think was going to happen? You know, kind of thing. I sometimes worry about that. I know. Being scared of sharks. Yeah, that's right. When I'm in the water, especially down in Florida, sharks. Them motherfuckers got me all sorts of fucked up. Let's see, what else? Is there anything else? I'll have to come back to that one. Honestly, I can't think of anything right now. Oh, alright. Number 7 of the most popular are, what are Goths' personalities like? That's a good question. Another great question. I'm going to go with the best ones have a dark sense of humor and a nerdy amount of passion for things. The worst love themselves or take themselves too seriously. So, to sum that up is to say that, while yes, I am a very serious person, while yes, I'm a very serious person in general, as you can tell, I can be fun, I can have a good time, I can go to parties and play beer pong and do all sorts of stupid shit on quads, four-wheelers. I go out and sea-doo, I go playing pool, I do a lot of shit, you know. Just because I'm Goth doesn't mean I'm boring or dumb or whatever. I'd say that we're mostly a good crowd. Of course, like I said before, there are going to be those bad apples every now and then, but as I said in my introductory of my own personal Gothhood, the best people I've ever met in my entire life have always been the Goth ones. Always. Better than skaters, better than emos, better than scene kids, better than concert kids, definitely better than the preps and jocks. And that's not some stereotyped Hollywood rivalry. That's an actual thing. Perhaps Goths we're just two opposites that will never seem to do that. I will admit, of course, just like with every group, there are few exceptions. I do know a few actual legitimate, overly privileged people that are pretty cool people that I get along with. But in general, we are not meant for one another, socially or otherwise. Anyways, we're all very different, unique, interesting, and generally honest. Nobody's saying they like things because somebody else said it, usually. I would also say that a lot of the time, very creative. You'll notice that a lot of goths are generally pretty artsy-fartsy types, as mainstream likes to say. But I'd say very creatively, artistically, very good at writing poems, writing in general. Very great vocabulary, punctuation, etc. And if you do have goth clubs, you'll find out that they're very, very sociable as well. We are known for being quiet and not, but actually we're very sociable people. And believe it or not, we actually do have a very good humor. You just gotta get to know us. Number 8. What do you do for fun as being the next most popular question for Goths? Well, I do a lot of things actually, me personally. I do my photography, I do my YouTube channel, I do videography obviously. And for my family and friends, I do personal photography for them, so they don't have to hire somebody. I do post editing as well, spruce it all up real nice for them, and give it to them. Can't beat free and can't beat quality work either, if I do say so myself. I've never had a complaint from anyone, even, strangers. So, I like to do my photography stuff. I like to do my editing stuff, whether it's photo or video. I love to fly my drone. I like watching YouTube videos. I like going out and having a good time. Whether it's just hanging out with a buddy or going to a bar and talking to strangers, bicycling, driving my car, traveling, definitely traveling. Just all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I'd say that basically sums it up. Of course, I like my martial arts as well. Yeah. Finally, the question I was waiting for. And the next most popular question is, what are the most common misconceptions about Goths? That we're miserable all the time. AKA, they confuse us with emos. Always wanting to cut ourselves and be depressed and always miserable and because that's just not the case. Another one is that we're all devil worshippers. I can't tell you, or begin to tell you, count down even, the amount of times that I was mistaken for, called, assumed to be, whatever, some sort of satanic devil worshiper, based off of how I look, how I dress. It's quite hilarious and sad at the same time, but that is one of the most popular misconceptions, is that we're devil worshippers, that we're satanic and we do rituals and shit. Of course there are, your literal Satanists that actually do who dress like this, sure. But even if they're pagans or they're witches or they're whatever, they're not Satanists. Another one is definitely, again, this kind of goes off of that we're miserable all the time, but that we are unfriendly people. And that we are only nice to those who are like us. Wrong. In fact, Goths are the most accepting of all stereotypes and groups of individuals out there. This has been proven countless of times. We are the most accepting, the most arms open type of group and people that you will ever encounter in your life. And again, if you meet someone who is intentionally mean and goes out of their way to be scary or intimidating, you're dealing with a legitimate poser. Someone who only bandwagoned into it. They saw it on TV or they saw it on a YouTube video or whatever and just was like, well, if I dress like that, then I could be seen as some scary bad guy and people will be scared of me. That kind of bullshit. And so they're intentionally mean, bad mood, aggressive, whatever you want to call it. And they are the ones that give us further a bad reputation. The genuine ones who genuinely live the authentic goth lifestyle are actually very friendly people and accepting. Furthermore, can't believe I'm saying this, but they think we drink blood. And they're getting us confused with the vampire group again. Weird how we're always being mistaken for other groups, but okay. Another one is definitely that we always wear black. Well, that's, again, not the case. Again, just like I said in my intro, your goth friend could be someone that you go to church with who dresses in a nice white suit or something every Sunday, but then goes home dressed like this. You wouldn't even know it. Not all goths always are in black, or blue or purple. Another popular question is for work relations. So, what do you do for a living, and do you have to pretend not to be a goth at work? Well, that is a very hit and miss type of question. Very dependent on what profession you are in and if you can get away with it. Obviously, if you can get away with it, you're going to be a goth at your workplace. Unfortunately, we do live in a very preppy type of society where they don't like people dressing differently than mainstream. So most of the times, obviously, they'll have some sort of work uniform or the other. But for me personally, I can't get away with it. I got my own martial arts uniform and all that, and it is what it is. But I let it be known. I'll let people know that, yeah, I'm goth, yeah, I mosh, yeah, I listen to death metal, etc., etc. But that isn't what I'm there for or anything, So it's not that I have to pretend not to be goth. It's just the environment doesn't call for anything to do with it. It's not something that you just go around being like, hey, I'm goth to everybody you know just because you're not dressed up as it or whatever. Time and place for everything. And as it pertains to martial arts, there's just not really a place for it unless you're particularly asked for it or a situation calls for it, like a philosophical purpose, like someone asked me, what if I don't fit in because I want to wear this, or what if people make fun of me because I wear that? Then there's an opportunity for me to be like, well, believe it or not, I'm a goth. I wear, chains and all black and other attire that's definitely not normal or mainstream, I am doing just fine. So that means you can too, Time and place. Time and place. But unfortunately not a lot of people get to be goth and be in the workplace, so. The next most popular question is, what is the worst thing about being goth? Your black's not being black enough. Or matching. Okay, all jokes aside though. The worst thing probably is the judgment you get from some other people. The dirty looks. And for the women particularly, they'll get dirty looks in regard to is she a prostitute? Or is she some demon prostitute? If they're doing the whole fishnets and sexy kind of look. But for me personally, just because not a lot of people really bother me, fortunately and unfortunately, I can't really say much other than the same old. People assume I'm some bad person that's out to hurt them or whatever. But other than, say, the social aspects, say in the malicious category, I would say the heat. When you go out like this in all black, it gets hot. Now, it's July, and when it hits in the 100-degree mark, it's hot as hell. Ha ha ha. Heat doesn't really escape from black, it absorbs it usually. Yeah, definitely not one of my most favorite things in the world. But man, when you commit to the lifestyle, you either deal with it, adapt to it, or you don't wear it. And over the years I've built an incredible tolerance to it, to the heat, and being able to sustain 100 plus degrees with high humidity while in this. That's not saying I don't get fucking sweaty as balls and hot, yeah, I drink a lot of water when I get back, and I definitely cool down when I get back too. Not denying that I'm sort of invincible man over here. I ain't far from that. But yeah, I'd definitely say in the malicious category, dealing with the heat. Hate it. It's one of the worst things about being goth is heat. Heat. The last most popular question. What's the best thing about being a goth? I'll give you the generic answer. There's a huge sense of belonging among the goth community for people who have always felt like outsiders. In my friendship group, we all love coming together and getting excited about the things that we love. Spooky things, gothy music, alternative clothes, etc. That's the generic answer. And while that is the generic answer, it doesn't take any sincerity away from it. It's just as true as anything else. Generic is still, it can't get any more truer than that. You feel like an outsider, you feel like you don't belong, go to a goth. Watch how fast you become a very important person. Watch how fast you're accepted and liked. See what I mean? You'll get it. There's a lot of people who just like being goth because they can be themselves. I know I can be myself, and anyone who's goth as well that I know, equally so with me. I can be myself genuinely, they can be themselves, no judgment. Because what a lot of times you'll see with jocks, preps, and all them other people, mainstream as it were, they'll be like, oh my god, your skirt is so cute. And then they'll walk away, oh my god, that was the ugliest skirt I've ever seen. You'll see a lot of that. Whereas in the goth culture, if we say we like it, we like it. And when you walk away, we don't make fun of you or two-face you and say the complete opposite. Likewise, if we say we don't like something, we don't like it. Integrity is a really big thing with us. Honesty is another big thing. When we say we don't like something, we don't say it because Joe Schmo to the left of me also doesn't like it, or you don't like it. If I don't like it, it's because I don't like it. If I like something, it's not because you like it, it's not because he or she likes it. It's because I like it. This goes for music. So, I love 90s music. Is it because you like 90s music? Is it because that person likes 90s music? Is it because she likes music that's from the 90s? No, because I genuinely like it. Who's my favorite band from the 90s? Is it the same as yours? Maybe. But it's definitely mine because it's my favorite fucking band. And I will not modify that answer for anybody. So if they say, for instance, their favorite 90s band is the Wallflowers, I'll respect that, be like, alright, that's a good band. I will admit that is a good band because I genuinely like the Wallflowers as a band. However, Third Eye Blind, hell yeah, I love it. That's me. If anybody else asks me, whether it's female, male, old, young, little, tall, fat, skinny, I'll give them the same answer every single time. Third Eye Blind. Another great thing about being goth is when you're out in public and you encounter another goth. It's like this instant connection. Hey man, love your pants, you know, or hey man, love your attire, you know, I like that band, or whatever, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's euphoric, really. More times than none, you'll pass somebody, or you'll encounter somebody that's goth, and it's like the best. It just really makes your day. It's like the best moment of all your entire day, especially when goths are few and far in between, like out here. I've met a sum total of maybe one handful of individuals, 5. Yeah, about 5, maybe 4 even. Oh, wait, yeah, 5. 5 individuals who were goth in 28 years. Now, of course, I have all sorts of goth online friends, sure, but in person, Traverse City, Northern Mission, Northport, Suns Bay, Omina, etc. 5. But every now and then I'll be walking around somewhere, and 2 times it was in the mall. There's this random guy, they'd be like, hey, like your shirt. Hey, digging your trip pants, you know. Even when I was down in St. Augustine, Florida, I was on this ghost adventure, and there's this gal with her dad, and she, it was just like that instant connection. Didn't matter that she was, I don't know, 17 or whatever. It was just this instant, and we just hit it off great. We talked, we had a good time. Unfortunately, after the tour was over, they had to get on their own way, and so we did. I went my way, she went her way, but man, that was an amazing time. It was like talking to an old friend that you haven't seen in years. It's kind of like, I guess, one of the better ways that you can put it. Someone that you can really relate to and get excited over, have similarities with each other, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, I guess it's kind of like a global community, and every now and then you get to meet one of those global community members. Yeah. So there are a lot of great things about being goth, really. It's just, I don't have that much time to lay them all out. But I'd definitely say a lot of it, the majority of it, does have to do with the actual people involved. That's for damn sure. So, with that said, finally the end of the video. This is a long one, I know. But with that said, until next time.